So for step 18, we're going to attach the rear dampers. So we're going to grab a couple from the previous step and start installing them onto the car. And there is the hardware that you need for this step. Now, this one's interesting. I have not seen a press nut before in any of the kits, so that's an interesting item for sure. I don't know exactly how that goes on or fits. We'll see. So I think what we'll do is we'll start off on this side and then do the other. So let's start at the bottom here. So we're going to need one of these screws, our MC1s. We are going to then need to go through here, but grab also the MC7. Now it's showing that you want to put a little bit of grease on this, so we'll do that. We'll just put a little bit there, get it in there, and that's going to fit in like so. So you can see that the flanged bit is sitting on the outside of the shock. So then you see the screw is going to go into here and all the way through and into that bottom. So if we actually put that through and in, you can see that the screw is going through into the bottom of that. Oh, sorry. So what we're going to do is this part is going to fit inside. So you see in between that open hole, we've got the flange part on that side. We're going to stick that in there, and the screw is going to go into the hole. And through that flange. There we go. And then it's just a matter of screwing this in. And remember, this is a softer plastic, so it is going to go all the way, and then don't over tighten, but just know that it's there. So that is in. So now it's going to be a matter of this top part. So you can see that we're going to grab one of our screws again. We're going to use one of the rear damper mounts, which you can see is going to go inside there. Now you're noticing they're not asking you to grease that one. They were for the bottom, but not for the top. So then this is going to go inside there. And then you can see that it's going to fit into that hole that's right there in the top, right there. And then you're using this new press nut. So note direction. The press nut needs to be facing so that little lip is that way. And that's actually from what now I can see that it's going to give it some grip. So you can see on that side, it's just fitting in there. But as you screw this in, it's going to tighten up. So if we grab our screwdriver, you can feel it go in nice and easy. And then you can feel on your finger on this side, it starts to really grip in. And there you have one of the dampers in place. Now what's interesting is, and I think I've mentioned this before, there's not a lot of suspension travel with this. I mean, I guess that makes sense. It's an on-road racing car, so those shocks are supposed to have less. Now I could probably, if I used one of the smaller spacers, probably would have a bit more of a softer suspension, so that's the hardest one, but not a lot of suspension travel. But again, I guess it doesn't matter. So let's go ahead and do the other side, and then we can move on to the next step. Okay, so as before, let's do this again. We're going to grease up this flange tube, as they call it. And it's going to go inside. Let's see how I want that. Inside the bottom of there. Oops. Just like that. And the flange section that sticks out on the outside is going to be on the inside there. So then we're going to take our screw, go through the hole and through that flange tube that we just put in. There we go. And then we'll screw that in. And again, we're going into soft plastic. So do not over tighten this. Once you feel some pull, stop. Otherwise you could end up stripping this out. Okay, same again on the top as we did before. We've got our rear damper mount, which is going to go right through the top there. We've got our screw that's going to go through there, and then that's going to go into that hole that's right there on the damper stay. And on the back side, you can see that we're going to put on the part that's raised is going to go forward. Come on. Is going to go forward. There. So you can see how that sits in there. Hopefully. Let's try to focus on that part right there. And turn this around. And we'll screw this in. Pretty interesting design. So there we go. There is our rear suspension complete. So we can now move on to step 19, which is attaching the front dampers.